Hello. I'm in my cottage and I'm trying to keep myself busy. And today I have been buffing books of poetry and I'm trying to make some furniture polish from beeswax. I have bees, as you know, and I've been harvesting honey all week from my honeybees, but there's been a lot of loose comb and some of them are full of dead bees, and so what I thought I would do is make furniture polish. I'm going to show you the books I've been buffing. I'm going to turn the camera around. One moment. Now you see, you probably can't see very well, but some lovely old books of poetry down there, and these are waiting to join them. We've got Madame D'Arblay's Diary, Life and Work of St. Paul, and some more Mrs. D'Arblay. Now, they aren't shined up yet. They have beeswax, which is soaking in. I shall buff them up, and then I shall add them to this little collection along here. I've got a number of lovely old books which will be joining this collection shortly. Anyway, back to me. So yes, that's what I'm principally doing today. Now, do follow me and we can see what I am doing in the kitchen. I am doing... Oh, water's overflowing. I've made a bain-marie. Probably too successfully. So let me turn the water down. I'll show you what I'm up to. Now, what I'm up to, you like my icons. I have many icons, and they watch over me. Somebody needs to. That's the water making that noise. I need to turn it down maybe further. The bain-marie may be overfilled, but you see, look, I've got all of this in there, which are odd bits of comb. There's still bits of honey in there. I extracted as much as I could, but look, that's the bain-marie. That is floating in this thing on a stove. It's floating away. And what I'm hoping to do is render. I'm going to render this into wax. I'm going to add turps and cedarwood. Not too much turps because it might be a bit pongy. But certainly a bit of oil, olive oil probably, and cedar oil to make a lovely wax polish. But that noise you can hear there is some residual water that I rather overfilled it, but that will burn off. But I'll come back when this is fully rendered and show you what I mean. Then, when this is all molten, I'm then going to sieve it, and we shall take care of all the bees and detritus and nonsense, and it'll go back into another bowl, hopefully just pure. And this is what I'm up to. Look at that horrible mess. That's in my bain-marie. Can you see it? Oh, it's wobbling on water. And basically I'm going to reduce that. And I'm going to... Focus is terrible on this. What's wrong with it? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep adding wax to it. So I fill that baking bowl, whatever it's called, and full of wax. And that's about the size of it, really. It's a slow old process. It's taking time, but it's getting there. And then what I'll do is, and I'll show you, I will just sieve off all this gunge and nastiness and through a sieve into, I think, a silicone probably container. Then I could just, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, frankly, because I don't want to melt it twice. So I might actually, once sieved it, put the oil, the turpentine and cedar oil straight in. I haven't made my mind up because I don't quite know what I'm doing. Anyway, that's this stage of the process. Okay, so I've added extra comb to the pot. It's rendering down quite nicely, and there is some honey that is separated from the comb, which is what I want to happen, which means I can drain that off. Anyway, what I now need to do is come over to here, and that's a silicone container, into which I will be putting some of this stuff. That's terps. Now, I'm not even going to be precise. I'm just going to just throw a bit in there, you see, like so. And then I shall put the wax into that. I'll just soften the wax so it doesn't get too hard. And then I shall put it into its final containers. That's the next stage. Now, you can use 1/3 beeswax. One moment, I'll look at you. It's impolite, really, just to be pointing my thing at this container. One moment. That's better. Get a good look at my handsome face. Right. I'm only joking, of course. Narcissistic, not much. Anyway, so yeah, I've done that, and that's about it, really, chaps. I don't know really what to do now other than wait. And then we'll just see what happens. I'm sure it's going to work. It's a great experiment anyway. So just stay with me, if you will, and we'll see what the final result is. See you in a moment. Okay, so the next part of the process is to get these sieves out. I use these normally for making my honey, but this time I'm gonna, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do really. I'm gonna, actually thinking about it, that's a very fine sieve, that one. Put that sieve on top. And I'm basically gonna transfer the boiling wax through this. Hopefully it'll go into the terps. Heaven alone knows what the result's going to be. But what you probably will see on the top of here is a lot of dead bees, poor things. But they were dead anyway when I gathered the comb. Let's transfer the pot over. Now, it's an absolutely disgusting mixture. And let's see what happens. Well, I don't even know what I'm looking at there. Looks like that's all the dead bees and bits of what looks like solidified wax. Underneath this lot, that should be just ordinary wax going into, well, into the mixture. Sorry, you can see my dirty sink there with all the dishes in. How disgusting. Anyway, that goes on there. I really don't know what I'm doing. Let's give this a little. See, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just mix this lot all up and see what happens. I probably put too much terps in. And, well, we'll soon find out, won't we? Whatever's on the top should solidify at least when it cools down. I might be able to scrape that off. But we'll see. I haven't really gone about this the wrong way. I haven't read anything on this. I've just sort of made it up. So it could be an absolute disaster. God, what a mess. Never mind. We'll see how we get on. So I've put the mixture into the fridge for an hour just to cool it down. It seems to have done the trick, and I have taken out the solidified wax. As yet, I do not know whether it will be soft enough to apply as a polish. I'll only know that when it's entirely cooled down, and I'll do a test. It may require melting again. I will refine this process so that I don't have to melt wax twice, but I think I may have to melt the wax again and add a little bit of oil, add me a little bit of cedar oil, to see how the texture is. Anyway, let's have a look, and I'll show you what I've done so far. Ta-da! The big reveal. Coming to a cinema near you. Beeswax. Now what I'm going to do is leave that now. And then I'm hoping that we'll go into that. You see, just a little pot of furniture polish. It's probably too much there. But you know, it goes a long way, beeswax. So there we go. That's as far as I've got. And I hope to be able to return in probably an hour, 2 hours, and just see what the texture of this wax is. I think it's absorbed some of the turpentine, in which case it should be a little bit softer. If it hasn't, I'll have to melt it again. Well, I wanted to avoid melting the wax twice, but I've done so. As we speak, it is in my oven. I put it on a very low heat in a metal container. And I'm going to add it now to this mess, which I have put into, hopefully, what is going to be the final tin of polish, if you like. Just to give it a bit of pong, I'm going to put a bit of cedar oil, just to give it some fragrance, because it can stink somewhat. I think that should do it. And now I'm going to try and pour the molten beeswax into this container. Contents of my frying pan then. I've just had a rather nice steak. Some of you may know I'm a carnivore. As such, I eat a steak every night. I have a very simple diet. Now, there's not really much I can do now other than allow this to set. I'll probably put it in the fridge. And I'll show you the final result. I'm hoping this will be a glorious furniture polish. And we'll see. There we go. I'm going to just leave that. And I might just let it set. And we'll see the final. Well, the wax is in the fridge. It waxeth cold. I'm going to go and retrieve it for the big reveal. Are you excited? I am. And so, from my small library of poetry and on down to my Rolls-Royce of furniture polish. Isn't that something to behold? I do hope you've enjoyed watching my attempts. I have tested it, as you can see by that hole, and it's the perfect consistency with which to continue to buff my books. See you on the next video.